Hi, I'm Doyle Ward, transformational life coach, focused on taking a spiritual approach and a real-world practical approach to helping you achieve your dreams.
Hi there, and welcome to Gems of Wisdom. I'm Teresa Maron, welcoming you today, live in Houston, Texas, on locallivehouston.com. And everybody's feeling a little primal today, and we want to let you all know that for the next 24 hours, it's Halloween. So be careful out there and be weird. All right, I want to tell you today that I am welcoming the most amazing man as my guest. His name is Doyle Ward, and he is going to be talking to us about all kinds of amazing things. So, Doyle, you want to say hi to everyone?
Hi. Thanks, Teresa, for having me on the show. It's really an honor to be here.
Well, you're so sweet. Would you like to help me explain to our listeners and our viewers about all the different properties of the crystal balls that I brought today? Aren't these gorgeous?
Sure, yeah.
Well, you know, all three of these crystal balls are part of my collection, and I have quite an extensive collection of crystal balls. I don't know why, but I started collecting them when I was very, very young, and I have dozens of beautiful crystal balls. This one, though, the properties of the rose quartz, you see how beautiful that is, kind of sends a beautiful pink, rosy glow around the whole room and brings beautiful lighting and texture to your complexion, but it's also about self-love and healing. So the rose quartz energy in a room with the globe, the shape of the globe, sends it to all the different corners of the room. Are you a fan of crystal balls?
Well, I have one.
You do?
I have one, yes.
And is there a story behind it?
It was given to me as a gift by a very good friend of mine who had a giant crystal ball.
Oh,
a big,
huge,
big one. And I always admired it. It was just really cool. And so anyway, one year she gave me a gift of a smaller version of it, it seems. So it's beautiful.
Oh, I see. So it has a personal connotation because of the person who gave it to you.
Because of the person who gave it to me, yeah.
Well, this crystal ball is a smoky topaz, and I'm going to take this one out.
Gosh, that one's beautiful.
Well, this one is from Brazil, and it's a smoky topaz, which has a lot of inclusions in it that show a rainbow effect, which has a special property meaning. That's an angelic touch within this crystal ball. And the smoky quartz of it is a very grounding, very base chakra. So when you have this type of crystal ball in a room, in your home or in your office, it would tend to bring the energy down, which is not a bad thing if that's a frantic part of, it's a really great place for a dining room. So everyone just kind of gets down, sits at the table, and allows the food to nourish their body, this type of thing. But the different types of crystal balls, the properties of the stones that they're made of is one thing. But the shape of the crystal ball sends it into all the different directions of the room, which is what I think is beautiful.
It is gorgeous. I could see how you would want that, at the table to bring down the, sort of settle the energy in the room.
Settle the energy as well.
It would be wonderful for a meditation room as well, don't you think?
It would, and this one is from my meditation room.
Ooh.
And this has the vulture totem, and a lot of people are very turned off by vultures because of the nature of what they do. But the spiritual and the Native American properties of the vulture are that it does no harm, which is the same as the Wiccan philosophy of in all things, do no harm. And that's why I absolutely love it, because the parts of our lives where we must make decisions and relate to each other, one of the best philosophies I feel is that above all, do no harm. And that's what this crystal ball is all about. And I brought those today because one of our big discussions today is going to be intuition, isn't it?
Yes. Well, people have, we have an idea about crystal balls. Look into the crystal ball and see
divination.
The future and things like that. And people do use that. You can use any kind of reflective surface, really, but crystal balls are they have a mystique about it.
They have a mystique,
It's a lot of fun.
It's much more fun.
So, anyway, we have played with those throughout, the years when we're talking about intuition, some of the things that I do, where you kind of just gaze into either crystal ball or a water source
or tea leaves,
tea leaves, or something like that. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Well, Gems of Wisdom is about gemstones, but also it's about thought processes. So I thought the crystal balls went really well today. But Doyle, let's get into a little bit of your history. You have a fascinating history, and one of the first things that I'd like to bring up today is one of the places that you studied is very famous, and it's in England, and you've been there, the Arthur Findlay School.
Yes, the Arthur Findlay College, right.
Tell me about that time that you spent there.
Well, the Arthur Findlay College is an amazing place, and it is it's the seat of the Spiritualist National Union in the UK.
Wow.
It is a very beautiful, charming place. It's huge. They don't think it's big over there. Over here, it's big to us, right? It's like a castle to me, but they consider it a manor house or something like that.
Oh.
But it is a beautiful place. It's a college of psychical arts focused on intuition, healing skills, intuitive art, and mediumistic abilities, things like that.
And you spent how much time there?
Well, off and on, I went for 2 years and would stay a week or so at a time and then come home and go back to learn more about how to get in touch with my intuition, my intuitive side. I wanted to develop that. And, why not go to the most world-famous
Yes,
college of psychical
arguably,
arts?
this is the most famous school of this type of nature in the world.
Right.
And it's been there over 100 years, I believe.
Yes. It's been there a long time.
Let's just say it's been there.
We'll
it's
say
been
there.
a long time.
Right.
Longer than I've been here.
Yeah, it in the 60s really is when I think it was gifted to the Spiritualist National Union.
The Spiritualist National Union.
Right.
Yes, that is a lovely part of time. So what you're doing right now, there's so many facets to your career and your gift and your service to the community right now. But let's get started with some of the things that you just want everyone to know about you.
Okay, well, primarily I work I'm in service to folks,
Yes.
okay? I consider myself a transformational life coach. I help people on all different levels move beyond stuck places. A lot of us go through our lives thinking we're supposed to be a certain person, that we have to do a certain thing, and we're kind of in a little box. But we may not be thrilled about it. We may not be fulfilled in what we're doing. And so I help people get kind of over that hump. A lot of folks, especially now, are looking for a new way.
More fulfillment in their life.
Right.
More than just a job. Go to work and I have to do this.
More than just a job, more than just a relationship.
Yeah.
More than just existing.
Fully existing, yeah.
Right. It's about improving. It's about enjoying life. It's about having some richer quality.
Well, I'll just have to share with our listeners and viewers how I met Doyle. He was holding a class on intuition that was very exciting to me, and I had not yet met Doyle, but he was very kind to me on the phone, spent a lot of time with me answering all my questions. And so I went there, and I must say that I spent 6 weeks in Doyle's class. Once a week we would meet, and it was one of the most empowering, you really did create a shift in my life.
Oh.
Things got sped up. Things that I had been thinking of doing but not right then became possible. And this is the type of transformation that Doyle's talking about. I can speak about it from my personal experience, that you've got a lot of things going on in your mind. What do you want to pick to bring to the surface? Do you help people kind of clarify their intentions and such, bring it to their lives?
Yeah, absolutely. The first thing that I do with folks is I have to figure out, okay, where are you?
Yes,
so we start where they are, okay? And a lot of times people don't know. They just know things are not working, or they're not happy, or something. They want something to be more in
I
their
think all
lives.
of us have felt that at some point in time.
So the very first thing that I do is I help them get centered, get organized in their thinking, and what we're looking for is patterns of belief. Patterns of belief. So that's really my job at the beginning, is to help identify, if they're in a position in life and they're unhappy now, well, they're doing something to get there.
Right. They created a
They've
pattern
created
or a
a
habit.
pattern or a habit that they either learned early on, maybe from childhood, or it's something that they acquired later.
And you have certain methods of going about this, or is that an intuitive skill that you have?
It's both.
So you do have exercises and
absolutely
workbooks, or
right? Well,
I don't know.
I have a process that I use to help people get in touch with their own intuition and get a little bit more of a direction about who they really desire to be, not who they were told they were supposed to be or who they believed they had to be.
This is very important work. I think all of us would benefit from something along these lines.